Something that I guess you can say I've struggled with. Something you can say that I've pretty much struggled with is I don't know about anybody else, but when I was younger, like I was really quiet. I always cared about what people thought about me and what people were saying about me, or I always wanted to be in the loop. I wanted to be in the in crowd. I wanted to be cool. I didn't know that it was cool to be set apart and be different yet. You know what I'm saying? And I think I still kind of suffer from that shit because I don't know if any other female goes through this, but when you're on a job, no one's stupid. You know when you find someone who happens to be a little messy or they want to gossip. And what I've learned is that sometimes women on certain jobs use gossip or they use messiness as a bonding tool for them to be cool. And when they see that you're not about that bullshit, they exclude you. And there'll be times where you're not in the loop, and there'll be times where you'll feel straight up left out. And the reason why you feel left out is because you are meant to be set apart. I'm not meant to go into a job and feel as if I have to berate someone or be messy or be fake in order to be liked. I would rather talk about shit that really matter, or we can talk about this job. We can talk about all job related topics. I used to be in the sense where I would use the gossip as a bonding tool. I know certain people I can go to and I could like talk shit about somebody real quick just to get some off my chest. I know the people who not with that. And some people have shown me, listen, I'm not about that messy shit. You feel what I'm saying? So I think you teach people how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? Like you teach people that it's okay to dump on you. And I used to do that a lot. I used to have people dump on me and not even realize they were using me as a fucking trash can. And then there was a time where I got full and I got drained and I just got tired of that shit. And people can tell when you're different. I'm the kind of person now, and a few years ago when I go to work to work. First of all, I don't even want to be here, because I know my purpose is greater. I've been in this field for this many years, and now it's time for me to move on to something greater. First of all, I probably don't even want to be here, okay? Secondly, I already have a lot of shit going on with me outside of this motherfucker. I got bigger fish to fry. You feel me? I got shit on my mind I got to figure out. And sometimes it's home, it's bills, it's finance shit. And sometimes it's just spirituality. Like I'm just above it. And sometimes when you say you're above something, people automatically assume that you're saying that you're better. And that's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying, at least. I'm saying I'm above that shit, meaning I don't have that type of time. If we're not going to have a conversation about the job, and we're not going to have a conversation about this job related task that we're supposed to be doing that I don't want to be here to do anyway, we don't have nothing else to talk about. When you think about a job and you really examine that shit, you realize we're not getting rich off this. You feel me? We're not meant to be in this particular profession forever, unless you're a lawyer or a doctor or a judge, or you're in a career where you have that straight motherfucking passion and it's something that you love to do. Other than that, them other jobs where you just kind of working that job to get to somewhere else, the only thing you need to be worried about is that job. Now, when it comes to people talking about you on the job, people want to talk about you. That's the human nature. People naturally vent to other people, or they naturally just talk about you like they don't have anything else to do. Like, I don't talk about people. You know why? Because my mind is occupied with other shit. My mind these days are occupied with my spiritual growth. And I know that what comes out of my mouth is very important. And I have to be accountable for what I say, even for what I'm saying right now. So when I'm on the job, I'm not trying to spend that time talking about somebody or talking about how this person fucked up or talking about, ooh, this person gonna get written up. I don't give a fuck. You know why? Because if I get written up or something happened to me, or I get reprimanded some type of way, that should be between me and my manager. And when someone else goes through the same shit, I'm going to purposely mind my business because I would like that same respect. I would want someone to mind their business when it comes to my shit. And that's just how I am. Just because I treat someone a certain kind of way because I want to be treated that way doesn't mean they're going to treat me that way. And I understand that. But if I put my good intention out there and I put that good karma out there, then I know that when whatever comes back to me is going to be positive. You can only do the best that you can. I'm not a mind reader. When it comes to people talking about you on your job, you're not a mind reader. You're not there when they're talking about you, because trust me, they're going to be slick to be able to shut the fuck up when they see your ass coming, because that's how people are. So So I wouldn't worry too much about people talking about you. I wouldn't worry too much about what just people have to say about you in general, unless they have your best interest at heart genuinely, and they say, "Listen, Aaron. Listen, I've noticed this and I'm not sure what's going on with you, but you good?" Unless they're coming at me like that and I know there's someone who really deeply cares about me, then I'll consider it. But if they're not, I'm not fucking with you. You feel me? You're never going to hear what people have to say about you. But what people think about you is none of your business. If you know that you are doing the best that you can and the best job that you can, and you know that you are always being professional and you're trying your best to be pleasant with everybody, and for some reason people got a problem, you can't worry about that shit because you don't have mind control. You feel me? You can't read minds and you can't control minds. So you have to leave that shit alone and let it be what it is. Like I said, what people think about you, what people got to say about you is none of your business. At the end of the day, we all about to die. We all gonna die. We all gonna die. And when we die, this physical form no longer matters because it's just a shell that we're in while we're here anyway. And when we spiritually transcend this job, you're not going to recollect this job. You're not even going to be thinking about this. This job is not even a thing in the fourth, in the fifth dimension. This is some third dimensional shit that we have to be programmed to do in order to survive. Even if you're working for yourself, you're still working for somebody. You feel me? You're mostly working for yourself, but even if you're working for yourself, you're still working. You still have to put in time. All your time doesn't wholly belong to you. So at the end of the day, don't give a fuck about what people think about you because at the end of the day, we're all going to die. There's not a situation where you're going to be worse off than somebody else. We're all going in the same direction, meaning that one day our physical form is going to perish and we are going to be no more unless we are reincarnated in another being or another living thing. None of that shit matters. You feel me? Like when you go to your next life, you're not going to even remember this life. And you probably don't even hardly remember the past life that you were in before this one. So why would you care? And I've had to really work with myself. Like I know people probably looking at this video. What a Peter Piper said. That sound like what I was about to say, right? Because I was stuttering. But people probably thinking like, oh, that's easier said than done. And it is easier said than done because I've had some massive issues. You feel me? Like I've had problems in accepting who I am and knowing who I am and et cetera, et cetera. And I felt the way people defined me or how people saw me was what I was defined to be. Meaning that if someone saw me as intelligent or someone saw me as weird or if someone saw me as quiet or naive, I took that like that was a definition of who I was. I know, right? Wasn't that stupid? It's so crazy what people say to you. I remember while I was younger, when I was younger, I wanted to be a singer. I could sing and I could still carry a tune, but when I was younger, I could really sing and I knew what I wanted to do. And it took one comment from my father and somehow that turned everything around. I sang in the choir. I sang in school. You know what I'm saying? Singing was what I wanted to do. And I knew that if I was trained properly and I was trained to play the piano, I could do amazing things. But in the course of me getting ready to transition from high school to college, I already knew I wanted to to major in psychology because I just wanted to help people. And I'm all interested in not the brain, but I've always been interested in the mind. I've always been interested in how the mind works, why people do what they do when they're put in certain situations or social situations. Why do they behave the way they do? Why does this happen to this happen? What's the reason? Why does she hate men? Why don't they have a good relationship with their mom? I always was thinking and I wanted to notice this. So I knew I was always going to major in psychology. But at the same time, in my mind, I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to be an entertainer in some kind of way. I used to dance. I danced in college. I danced in the community. I danced in church. I was a really good dancer, hip hop, praise dance, ballet, tap. I mean, I did the thing, okay? I knew in some way, shape, or form, I was going to be in entertainment. Clearly, I am not. But I'm trying to find my purpose back through there by my words and by me speaking and letting people know the truth. It took one thing for my father to tell me, for me to tear from all of that shit. You know what he said? And I'm not blaming my dad. on this. I'm not blaming him. I'm not putting him at fault for nothing. Because now that I'm more examining it, I realize that what he said to me, it was my fault why it triggered me. He said, singing in the entertainment industry is not promised. That's all he had to say to me. And for some reason, when he said that to me, it's like everything flipped. Everything I thought I wanted to do, I'm like, it's not promised. So you telling me that I'm not going to be successful? Are you telling me I'm not going to make it? Is that what you mean? Oh, it's not promised, meaning that it's not a guarantee. Oh, okay. Mind you, I'm not just realizing this. I realized this a long time ago, just in case you were wondering. But when I got that message, all of a sudden I said, oh, I automatically was like, damn, it's not promised. So that means I need to do something else. That means, okay, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get my degree in psychology, and then I'm going to get my master's, and then I'm going to get my doctorate, then I'm going to have my own practice, and I'm going to be a psychologist because the music industry is not promised. So I have to make sure that I go along with something that I know I can attain. Just by that. And he was just giving me advice. He was just saying, listen, I think he was saying it's not promised, meaning have a backup plan, Aaron. I think that's all he was saying, but I didn't take it that way. I took it like, oh, he thinks I can't do it. Oh, I just got, from that one statement, I got so discouraged. And what I'm saying all this to say that one person could say one thing to you and it can change your whole motherfucking outlook on everything if you let it. But now I'm 33 years old. And like I said, this is not something I just realized. But I realized that words are powerful. And I know that I'm intelligent, regardless of what people think about me, say about me, whatever. Sometimes my energy is strong. Listen, I can't help you. Because there have been a lot of people that I've come across where their energy is real strong, and it makes me feel very intimidated. It makes me feel very intimidated, and I would shy away from them. And I don't know if that's what they wanted. I don't know if that's just, I don't know. But it's been times where people have made me feel all kinds of ways because of their energy and how they come at me. You feel me? They make me feel all kinds of ways. And I just dealt with that shit. I just dealt with it. I dealt with, even in my mind, what I thought as being misused and abused. I just dealt with that shit because I wanted to be the bigger person. And I wanted people to be like, okay, well, she's cool. Even though I did this to her, even though she knows I'm about this, she still's cool with me. She's non-judgmental. I wanted to be cool. But there were times where I feel like, damn, I should have spoke up. I should have did this and did that. But when you on your job, don't worry about a motherfucker talking about you. Because guess what? That's what people do on jobs. They talk. You know why they talk? Because half of them don't want to be there and they're not really interested, and it's something to do. Especially if you're a female. Dudes do the same thing, okay? I'm not here to say men do it more or women do it more. We're all human, so we do it. People talk shit about people. You feel me? Me, quite frankly, I might make a joke or two, and then I'm on to the next thing, and I'm not worried about you or thinking about you. I'm not going to sit up here and talk. And I realize that when I'm constantly talking about something or a situation, I have to evaluate that, and I have to catch myself and be like, Aaron, why you keep going over this? You must be feeling some type of way. So instead of me trying to bottle all those feelings and stuff all that shit down, when you really feeling some type of way and you feeling like really affected by what people have to say about you, and you really feel the energy at work and you feel the energy in another space and it's not uncomfortable, know that you are going to be in situations where you feel off kiltered, meaning you're going to feel off balance, you're going to feel uncomfortable, and that's just what it is. And sometimes that's God just taking you to another level of strength. Sometimes that's him transitioning you to another way of thinking. I don't know what God's trying to do with you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's between you and God. You feel me? But that's what it is. And I want you to gain an energy, gain a self-esteem and a confidence about yourself to where you know what's up and you know what's going on, but none of that shit faze you. Because at the end of the day, those people that are doing it to you, they know that it's phasing you. They can tell that you're affected by it, and they're not affected, and they're not losing sleep. It's been times where I'll go home from work and I'll remember stuff that happens, and I'll know that I was being talked about or I was being talked, you know what I'm saying? And I literally would lose sleep over that shit. I would literally think about it so much and it would get to me. And now I'm older now. I'm a full grown ass 33 years old. So, you know, I'm not really tripping on that no more, because at the end of the day, it really don't matter. As you grow older, you just start to realize what the fuck really matters, what the fuck you really need to be focused on. And it's funny because I've always had this strength inside of me, but I couldn't tap into it fully when I was younger, like when I was like 17, 24, you know what I'm saying? I'm 33 now, and I think I just came into my own about maybe 27. You feel me? I was a little late. People always say I'm a late bloomer. I used to hate that shit too. People would always say I'm a late bloomer and shit. You calling me slow? But you know what though? Sometimes it takes a little longer for the most beautiful flower to grow. Hey. And if that's me, then that's me then. And I'm proud of who I am. I had to start being like, Aaron, be proud of how you learn things. Be proud of what you've been through. Be proud of what life has taught you. Don't underestimate yourself or minimize yourself because you feel like, because the way someone feels about you and the verbiage they use. Don't take that shit to heart. Take that shit with a grain of salt. Have your own motherfucking filter. When people would tell me stuff, I had my own filter. I would decide what I hang on to, and I would decide what would pass through and go in the garbage and go into my mental garbage tank. You have the power to do that. Don't ever let someone belittle you or make you feel less than because you're different. Because chances are, if you try to do everything everybody else try to do, and you're the one that gets caught and no one else does, that means it's something about you where you don't need to be doing what everybody else do. And sometimes that's just the truth. Sometimes it's going to be lonely. And it's okay, because you're never really going to be lonely, because God is always with you. If you feel like you're someone who didn't fit in, if you feel like someone who you're someone who, where everywhere you go, it seems like people always got something to say, or you can sense people are talking to you, talking about you. Don't worry about that shit. Be who you are, stand in who you are, smile, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And so, I also want to talk about this. Suspicion, I used to have this shit a lot. I used to be thinking like people saying all kinds of things. I used to be overanalyzing all kinds of little interactions in my hand. That, oh, this must mean this. Oh, this must mean that. And I had to start realizing that I was being suspicious. But see, the thing about that is that some people are being suspicious as fuck, but they mistake it as them being discerning. There's a difference between discernment and suspicion. Suspicion comes from a negative space. Point blank. Discernment comes from the divine. That's God speaking to you and through you about a situation. Discernment is being able to deal with a person, things, or situations intelligently and clearly. And evaluate your thoughts. Evaluate your thoughts and be able to decipher whether or not you are using discernment or you are using suspicion. And I started realizing I'm just suspicious of a whole lot of shit, and this shit is not healthy. So I'm gonna end this video. This ain't going on 17 minutes, but listen, be who you are. Don't be afraid of who you are. As long as you have good intentions behind what you're doing and you try to say things and act in love towards people, then how people respond to you, whatever the case may be, you're sending good karma out there. So the only thing you're going to get back is good karma. Sometimes people just have issues. Sometimes they have triggers. You may have said something and not even realize what you said, thinking it was regular, but for some reason, a word you used triggered somebody. They may have had a bad experience with someone using that word towards them in the past. That's not your fault. You can't, that's what I'm saying. You never know what it is. People are weird, bruh. People are just weird, and you just don't know you just don't know. You just don't know. You just don't know. And sometimes you just have to walk in who you are, and you have to be confident, and you have to smile in spite of. And when motherfuckers look at you and you already know the vibe, the motherfucking energy in the room, and you got hating ass bitches on your job who don't got shit else better to do than to talk about you or to complain about everything all the fucking time. Good morning. How you doing? All right. All right. How you doing? Okay. I heard you. Get your confidence on. Get your confidence on. That's all you got to do. But yeah, that's it, man. Because, I be worried about that shit, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one worried about it. So